So yesterday I took one of my first proper rides of the year. Went out by myself and kind of pushed it a little bit to see what sort of average speed I might be able to manage, and kind of had my hopes up that I would have turned in a better performance than I had done, which was recorded up on Strava and get all the data up there about speed and distance and all that other stuff. The reason I was a little disappointed is that last winter, I started a workout program to push up my FTP and to become a faster rider. And sometimes, you forget about all the factors that go into that data that you do record and collect about your rides that influence just how well a performance you're putting out. Toward the end of last year, on this ride that I typically take, I finally got up to about 17 and a half miles per hour for riding my 20-mile route. And as I said, I tried to set a goal to get myself up to 18 miles an hour this year for average speed. So yesterday's ride, I only managed 16 miles an hour, and I was somewhat disappointed. But I also kind of stepped back and thought about why it was that I was using average speed as an indicator to my progress as a cyclist and as a road biker in terms of getting more fit and faster. It's a very, very common question. People who get into cycling have about themselves. How fast should I be going? What's a good average speed? If I'm doing 16 miles an hour, how does that rank compared to other cyclists? Am I a beginner or am I a near pro? All that sort of thing. And it's almost an impossible question to answer because there are so many variables, in terms of using your average speed to determine are you getting to be a better, faster cyclist. Not the least of which is, the time of year. Very hot time of year during the summer or cold in the winter, your speed is going to suffer or be impacted by that. I shouldn't say suffer. So I'm trying to remind myself that average speed isn't all I should be considering when looking back on how I am progressing as a road biker. FTP itself essentially has to do a lot with strength and endurance. So I'm beginning to reevaluate myself and try not so much to focus on increasing my average speed per se, but to recognize the fact that I do ride stronger. I do ride longer with well, I guess you call it less perceived effort. The last couple times I've been out helping my girlfriend get used to riding her new bike, her road bike. And she's actually doing terrific, by the way. But I spend most of my time when riding with her is riding behind her, giving her little clues about, or cues rather, in regard to when to shift, her cadence, her foot position, her hand position, things of that nature. But the whole point of that was, or is, that you know, I forget it wasn't that long ago that I was exactly at her level, just starting out, shifting my gears all over the place because I wasn't sure what the hell I was doing, and that I was trying to shift to an easier gear to either go faster or just take a climb more easily. And it only takes a certain amount, well, it takes experience. It takes more time up on the road, up on a bike, to become more comfortable with the bike and know where you want to shift and how you want to shift. So I kind of circled back around to measuring my own performance level and how I am progressing as a road biker. Take a right-hand turn here. We'll cut the green light. Well, one of the things that really struck me is because Susan is my girlfriend's name. She's probably at an average speed of about 12 miles an hour right now, just getting started. But to keep up with her, it's kind of a funny way of putting it, but to slow down and to keep pace with her, I realized that there are certain roads, hills that I've climbed that when I started out riding and climbing, I would struggle with. And of course now it's a challenge for her, but she's handling them very well, choosing the right gears, right cadence, just staying with a nice easy pace to climb hills. Don't try to overpower anything, save her energy for the long haul. Anyway, in following her up those hills, I found myself just lumbering up the hills very easily. Put it into a higher gear than I probably normally would on the low range, and turning my cranks real slow, and riding up behind her, and being able to do that with no change in my respiration whatsoever. I mean, nothing to it. So there alone, by that example, I know I've really progressed a lot in the last year or so. And I'm sure Susan is going to do equally as well. Of course, she's not as avid about biking as I am. And there are some times when I kind of drive myself beyond my own capabilities. And I should know a little bit better than that, because while pushing yourself harder makes you stronger and faster, personally I think that's more of a younger guy's game than it should be for me. I'm not a young guy. I'll be turning 68 next month, and it's much more difficult for me to develop my muscles at this age than it is for someone a lot younger. So going back to the question, how do I know whether or not my speed, my average speed, represents someone who's a good cyclist or middle of the road or mediocre or whatever? Any search of the internet will give you a million freaking answers to that. But consistently, what people do say about average speeds is It's almost an impossible answer to come up with. Based on your geography, the kind of road you ride, the time of year you ride, what the wind is doing that day. What's your diet been like the last few days in terms of providing you fuel to keep your body moving? It's a million things. There's a million things.